Okay, so we're just going to look at a recap on the absolute cell reference. So we know here, this is just a little spreadsheet to calculate the amount of PAYE and PRSI that somebody pays. So we know the PAYE here is just going to be 20% of whatever their gross pay is. Now, for any of you doing payroll with me or who has done payroll with me, excuse the lack of payroll knowledge here. Okay, so we're just multiplying the gross pay by 20%. So to do that, we know we need to keep referring to this cell here to B1. So our formula would be equals the gross pay of B4 multiplied by B1. Okay, so that's it in its simplest terms. And we know then that if we fill this down, okay, it's going to B2, B3, B4, and that's wrong. Okay, so we wanted to keep referring back here to B1. So we know to do that, we need to multiply B4 multiplied by $B $1, okay? And that just means that the B4 will move from B4 to B5 to B6 to B7, so it'll incrementally add on one here, but it'll always refer back to the contents that's in cell B1, okay? So we just hit enter now, and now when we fill it down, we see that our formula is always referring back to B1. So it's B9 multiplied by B1, it's B6 multiplied by B1. Okay, so that's the absolute cell reference. If you're not great at remembering the dollar sign piece, you can decide, okay, to name the cell. So if I pop in here that I want to call this PRSI, for example, okay, so I just go into the naming box, I type in the name that I want to call it, hit my enter key. So now I can say equals the gross pay multiplied by PRSI, okay? And it refers back to the cell that has PRSI in it. And I can just choose to fill that down the whole way, okay? And it keeps referring back to the cell. So you can use the $B $1 if you want, or you can name the cell that you want to use in your formula. So in this case, I named it PRSI and I can fill it down. Okay, so I'm just going to say, just to finish it off, my total deductions are the sum of these two lads, so C4 plus D4, and my net pay then is obviously going to be gross pay minus my total deductions. Okay, so I'm happy with the formulas that are in these two cells, so I can drag these down together. Okay, so I just highlight the two of them, and I come over now to the little bulge in the corner here, hold down the left side of my mouse and I drag it down, and it's bringing the two columns down with me, so I'm not having to do them individually. Okay, so that's use your dollar sign to reference an absolute cell reference, or name the cell and use the name of the cell in the formula, and hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Thanks.